Hello everyone! Today we're cooking some incredibly tender baked chicken drumsticks on a sweet onion bed, paired with hearty stewed veggies. It's a real family favorite that fills the whole house with a cozy aroma. Using paper towels, pat the chicken dry. Getting rid of moisture is essential if you want the skin to crisp up beautifully, rather than steaming inside the hot oven. Take a sharp knife and make deep cuts into the drumsticks. This allows our marinade to penetrate deep into the meat. For me, this part is almost meditative, just focusing on the rhythm of the knife. I'm really curious, what city are you watching from today? I always feel so wonderfully connected to you all when I see your homes. Place the chicken into a large bowl. Using a deep bowl makes it much easier to toss everything together quickly. Sprinkle with Himalayan salt. I prefer it for its clean taste, but regular sea salt works perfectly fine here too. Add some smoked paprika. It gives the chicken such a lovely deep color and a subtle woodsy flavor that we just adore. Grind a fresh mix of peppercorns right over the top. Freshly ground pepper is definitely so much more aromatic than the prepackaged stuff. Add a teaspoon of chili flakes for just a nice tiny hint of warmth. Add a tablespoon of mustard. It's not just for flavor. The mild acidity helps tenderize the chicken meat, making it completely melt in your mouth, soft and delicious. Drizzle with a good amount of olive oil. This will help the spices stick to the chicken and create a beautifully rich glaze. Pour in the soy sauce. It adds that wonderful umami depth and a nice saltiness. Slice 3 cloves of garlic into thin rings. Garlic is the true soul of this dish, and cutting it this way lets it release its aroma slowly without burning too quickly. I absolutely love how the kitchen is starting to smell already. Do you have a favorite spice that you add to almost everything you cook? I'd genuinely love to hear your daily kitchen secrets in the comments. Add the chopped, fragrant garlic to the bowl with the chicken drumsticks. Now comes a very important moment. Mix everything gently and thoroughly. Rub that thick, spicy marinade right into every piece of meat, making sure the spices, mustard, and soy sauce get deep into all the cuts. Let the chicken soak up this incredible palette of flavors for a while. Let it rest and absorb all those aromas before baking. Grease your glass baking dish with a very light coating of healthy olive oil. Now, let's slice the onions into thick half rings. These will act as a natural rack for our chicken, preventing it from sticking while absorbing all those incredibly delicious juices. Cutting onions can be a bit emotional sometimes, but I find it quite therapeutic if I'm not in a rush. Plus, this sweet onion bed always turns out to be one of the absolute best parts of the entire meal. I just know everyone is going to adore this wonderful flavor combination. Spread the onion rings evenly across the bottom of the dish to create a nice, level surface for the drumsticks to gently rest on. Arrange the chicken right on the onions and pop it into the oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. This gentle, slow roasting process will make them incredibly tender. While that is cooking beautifully, let's start on our colorful and healthy vegetable side dish together today. Heat up your pan and add a splash of olive oil. We want the pan nice and hot, so our fresh vegetables get a good sear and keep their nice firm texture. Start by dicing the onion into small, uniform cubes. I always try to keep the sizes consistent so they cook at exactly the same rate. There is something so deeply satisfying about a neat pile of freshly chopped vegetables, don't you think? It is the little everyday things that bring joy. Finishing up the onion now. Since we are stewing these later, they don't need to be perfectly identical, but a fine dice helps them melt into the sauce beautifully. My kids used to pick out onions, but when they're cut this small and cooked down, they actually really love the gentle sweetness. Add the onions to the pan and give them a really good stir. We're looking for them to become beautifully translucent and soft. The sizzle in the pan is honestly like sweet music to my ears. Cooking a fresh meal for my family is my absolute favorite way of showing love. And the familiar smell of sautéing onions is the very first sign that a truly great dinner is on its way. What is your ultimate go-to family meal when you want to make everyone happy? I read all your lovely comments. Next, let's dice the carrots into small cubes. Fresh carrots add such a wonderful natural sweetness and a very vibrant pop of bright color to the stew. I like to use firm, bright carrots because they hold their shape much better during the entire cooking process. Take your time with the knife. There is absolutely no need to rush when you're creating something this deliciously wholesome for your loved ones at home. Continuing with the fresh carrots. If you happen to have little ones at home, this is a truly fantastic way to sneak in some extra vitamins. I've found that even the pickiest eaters enjoy carrots when they are stewed until completely tender and soft. It is all about thoughtfully creating a nice balance of flavors and textures that everyone will genuinely enjoy sitting around the warm dinner table together tonight. Toss the chopped carrots right into the pan and mix them nicely in with the onions. Let them cook together for a few minutes to start softening up. The bright orange and white together look so incredibly pretty, don't they? It is just like a little glowing sunset right in the pan. I always feel that the more beautiful natural colors you have in a home-cooked dish, the more genuine love and wonderful health you are putting directly into your lovely family's bodies. Now for the potatoes. Peel them and start cutting them into large, chunky cubes. Potatoes are the ultimate cozy comfort food, providing that satisfying base for our hearty vegetable stew. I prefer using a nice starchy variety for this recipe because they soak up the savory broth so incredibly well once we start the simmering process. Finish dicing the rest of the potatoes. Keeping them in somewhat larger chunks ensures they don't turn into mush while the other vegetables catch up. It is these little thoughtful details that make a home-cooked meal feel so professional. Just imagine how soft and perfectly flavorful these will be after they have spent some time cooking. Add the potatoes to the pan and gently stir everything together. We want the potatoes to get a little bit of that very flavorful oil directly on them before we add any liquid. This crucial step helps build wonderful layers of flavor. It is definitely starting to look like a very substantial and filling family meal already. Practically perfect for a chilly evening when you just need something incredibly cozy. Slice the celery stalks into small pieces. Celery adds a remarkably unique, fresh aroma that really elevates the whole dish. It is one of those fantastic secret ingredients that people might not notice individually, but they would definitely miss it if it was not there. It brings a lovely brightness to our earthy potato and carrot mix. Add the chopped celery to the pan and give it another really good toss. Each new vegetable adds a distinctly different dimension to the sweet aroma filling the kitchen. I love how the warm steam carries all these wonderful scents. It truly makes the whole house feel like a comforting home today. Take a few fresh mushrooms and cut them into hearty quarters. Mushrooms bring a wonderful meaty texture and a deeply savory flavor to our rustic stew. Make sure they are cleaned very well. I find that quartering them keeps them substantial enough to beautifully stand out among the other veggies. Finishing up the mushrooms now, if you're a big fan of fungi, feel free to add a few extra pieces. They act exactly like little sponges, soaking up all the delicious juices from the hot pan. It is fascinating how each ingredient contributes its own special magic to the final simmering pot. Toss the mushrooms right into the mix and carefully stir. You will quickly notice they start to gently brown and release their moisture, which instantly adds even more profound depth to our beautifully evolving homemade stew. Add a tablespoon of thick tomato paste and stir it in thoroughly. Cooking the paste for a minute or two helps mellow out its sharpness and unlocks a rich, concentrated tomato flavor. It acts as a beautifully rich binder for all our fresh ingredients, giving the sauce a lovely deep red hue and a perfectly velvety consistency. Now, let's thoughtfully chop the cabbage into large, rustic cubes. Cabbage is such a wonderfully underrated vegetable. It becomes so incredibly sweet and tender when stewed. It adds a wonderful hearty bulk to the meal without ever being heavy. I absolutely love using it because it is both budget-friendly and incredibly healthy for the whole family. Do you use cabbage often in your own everyday cooking, or is it a completely new ingredient for you? I'd really love to know. Add the cabbage to the pan and use your hands to gently separate the fresh leaves. This ensures that every piece gets beautifully coated in that delicious base. Give everything a really thorough mix. It might look like a huge amount of cabbage right now, but do not worry. It will shrink down significantly as it gently cooks. Seeing all these vibrant colors together makes me so deeply happy. It is literally like a gorgeous summer garden in a pan. Taking a quiet moment to truly appreciate the simple beauty of our daily food is just as important as the final taste. Season with a little bit more Himalayan salt. Remember, we have added a lot of fresh vegetables, so they will need a little help to pop. Add some more freshly ground pepper. That little tiny bit of spice is exactly what this mix needs. Sprinkle in some lovely garlic powder and give the pan one last incredibly good stir. Garlic powder provides a completely different kind of savory depth than fresh garlic, and it coats the vegetables perfectly. The aroma is getting so incredibly intense now. I truly wish you could smell it through the screen. Pour in the savory chicken broth and gently stir. This wonderful liquid is what will magically transform our sautéed vegetables into a tender, succulent stew. It is the perfect final piece of the puzzle that brings all flavors together. Cover with a lid, simmer 15 minutes. Take off the heavy lid and give the stew a very gentle stir. The vegetables should be perfectly tender now, and the rich sauce should have thickened beautifully. Finally, chop some vibrant fresh parsley. I always keep some right here in my kitchen because it adds that absolutely essential burst of freshness and bright color right at the very end. There is something so incredibly therapeutic about the rhythmic sound of a sharp knife on the wooden cutting board, isn't there? It is the perfect final touch before we serve this genuinely beautiful meal. Plus, it makes everything look amazing. Sprinkle the fresh parsley all over the cooked vegetables, and our colorful side dish is officially ready to eat. Carefully take the golden brown chicken drumsticks out of the hot oven today. Plate the juicy chicken and top it with that perfectly sweet roasted onion. Add a really generous portion of those tender stewed vegetables right to the side. The combination of vibrant colors and textures on this plate is perfect. Just look at this absolute masterpiece. The chicken is perfectly glazed, and the vegetables are so beautifully vibrant and inviting. It is a completely balanced, healthy meal that truly warms the soul from the inside out. I just love how the incredibly simple ingredients have transformed into something so deeply special. This is exactly the kind of homemade dinner that brings everyone to the table with a huge, happy smile. Time for the absolute best part, the very first bite. It is so incredibly juicy and full of rich flavor. Thank you so much for spending this precious time in my kitchen today. If you enjoyed this lovely recipe, please do not forget to subscribe for more home-cooked goodness. Take care.